All right, stop. Stop. Always note the wallpaper in these reviews. These are the Airpulse A100s. And if you've never heard of Airpulse, it's because it's an offshoot of Edifier. And Edifier basically has their high-end line. It's called Airpulse. If you drive a Lexus, you actually drive a Toyota. Get over it. These are $1,000. One gemstone, please, and the title, Future Zeos. And they're very, very pretty. And they're in white. And it's not that, like, matte white that even, like, the boot carts. Like, it's like a matte white. This is like that really shiny, like acrylic, like real good painted white. And they've got that aggressive tweeter. And a little baby 5-inch. It's so cute. And they're deep and have big port. And it's a self-powered pair. You don't see any amplifiers here. Look, a little remote control. PC auxiliary optical, USB, Bluetooth, volume down, volume up, mute, power. I don't like this remote. I kind of like the remote. No, I don't like this remote. We're going to get to these speakers and my disappointment in them. They're just a little... Because here's the thing. I got to do this review. Airpulse sent these to me directly. And so I'm not going to shit all over them. They do things worthy of $1,000 pair of speakers, but they're not a whole speaker. You see that, the literal 80-pound gorilla in the room, which is actually only like a 27-pound gorilla, is the Yamaha C912 subwoofer. I got that on Amazon pre-Black Friday for like $135. It's a big 12-inch sub. Actually, I got two of them, and one of them failed, and I had to send it back. But there it is. And it's there because this is a sub out. And I'm not just putting it there to show off that there is a sub out. I'm putting it there because these fucking $1,000 speakers need a subwoofer. And that gives me pause for like a full, like, yeah, Zeos, give me one of those reviews where you say you love everything and buy it all the time. Because besides the fact that I'm going to take the cameraman for a second to show you the... I didn't peel it off because I'm like, don't put a high-res audio sticker on the front of my $1,000 speakers, any company on earth. Let's look at them. Left channel there. Has to be left channel. I don't know what it is. Vanitu's, the Kanto Tux, and what was the other one that did it? There's Vanitu's and Kanto Tux are the ones that come to mind first. It might have been the Edifier S... Well, the Edifier S3000s were wireless. But... for some reason, speakers used to be like powered speakers. Like these are the high end. These are $1,000. These are high end powered speakers. It used to be you'd be able to assign if you wanted the host side, the master side with all the amplifiers that connect to that, be the left to the right. And they stopped doing that. In fact, this remote control is like piddly. Do you remember the Kanto Tux? Go watch my review of the Kanto Tux. That remote had options where if you like hit a button and hit another button, you could swap left and right. So that if it was more convenient and all your input sources were on like the left-hand side, you could plug all your stuff in here, and then that became the slave speaker. And they don't do that anymore. None of the speakers I've done recently have done that anymore. It's like they've given up. So that means I should just be concentrating on sound quality. Well, I tell you what Airpulse is concentrated on. That fucking tweeter. That tweeter belongs in a $4,000 tower. Absolutely worthy of it. The problem is, I'm going to hear, wait, put back on. This is, by the way, from Call of the Night. This is called Sexual Intercourse from Call of the Night. Well, if you want to hear the sound demo of these, or any of the speakers I'm going to be doing, those have all moved private. I'm taking that operation private. If you want to be a patron or a subscriber for $5 a month, you get to actually hear sound demos, and I get to use any music I want. Like everything from Call of the Night, including Sexy Power. Okay, all right. That's a decent, like, boom. Let's unplug the subwoofer. Thank you, Yamaha. You did well. I will be reviewing that Yamaha. I have a second one coming to replace the original one because they were so cheap. Like, what could I do with two 12-inch super cheap subwoofers? There's something... Let me see. Oh, I have the bass and treble knobs turned all the way up. They're just... This one's making a fucking noise now. Oh, by the way, these are at their maximum volume. That's another, like there are many bullet points to why these are beautiful speakers, $1,000 speakers. Look, a speaker company that actually gave you a foam slope angle to put on your desk to put them on. This can't cost them more than 50 cents, but they're the only ones that do it. There are reasons I love these speakers and Airpulse in general, mostly because I want to get to their bigger ones. They have the 80s, the 100s, the 200s, the 300s, and the 300 Pros are $2,300. So this is sort of like bottom of their line, not quite the cheapest one, but lower down. So I think what they're doing is they're just expanding on the, like, we can't give them everything, like low end. That's a good song. Now, let's look at the actual powered speaker. I'll pick it up and get my dirty fingerprints all over it. Everything good here? Great. Port, machined aluminum knobs. Your volume knob, which is a digital knob, you could turn it over and over and over, get all the way up, because we're at maximum volume. These things do not get super loud. They're loud. Like, you're going to get a neighbor complaint, but they're not like Zeos is trying to test you loud. They don't get there. Bass and treble knobs. Also, this pushes in to change inputs in case you don't want to use the remote. You have your auxiliary inputs, which is RCA. You have your PC inputs, which is RCA. USB, optical, a sub out, your left speaker, a thing which is a 5-pin. So they're obviously using 4 out of the 5 pins. I don't know if they'd be using them for anything else. You could tell this is an Edifier brand because this is that giant, old school, like brown, copper, and silver cable that connects the two of them, which goes in sideways. Standard figure 8 thing, your power switch, and you're done back here. Really like they feel so nice. The bottom has feet built in. It's got the bracket here to hold probably the crossover and transformers. The finish is stellar. Like, if you were just setting up a house to look like it's from fucking Cyberpunk, these speakers, and you flash them with fucking lights on them, they're gorgeous. I do, however, have an issue with exposed hardware on $1,000 speakers. Like, these are sort of like set back. There's a 4 in there, but there's like 4 here too, and it's like that's just like, even the, and I don't want to bring up the Swans too much, but even the cheaper Swans don't show hardware anymore. Then again, the boot carts also show hardware, so I mean, who are we fighting against? So I like the look. I think we all like the look. Does everyone in the comments like the look? Great. Here's your little control panel down here. It changes between your inputs, flashes for Bluetooth. It actually flashes when you're controlling the volume, like the input thing will flash. Let's go back to the remote for a second. It's very small. And it's not that it's small, I don't like it because it's small. It's small, but I don't like it because it's built wrong. I could fully accept a remote control that's tiny. But if you hand me a remote control, my eyes are closed. Currently my eyes are closed. You handed me this remote and said, now change the volume. And my thumb is nowhere fucking near, and I have to hold it like at the end. The volume is going to be the most changed thing. You're not going to be changing between inputs, and you're not going to be turning it on and off constantly like that. So the volume should be, even if I flipped it upside down, the volume is still not high enough. I don't like the design. It's very sleek and smooth, like a bar of soap. This is the model A100. Ooh, it feels like a bar of soap. Like you just opened some soap and just wore it down. So, again, kind of speaks for like that very, very high end. You know, I don't want a giant remote. I want it to be very sexy and sleek. Fine, non-functional. I want this top button here to be volume up and the next one down to be volume down, and all this other shit could just move away. Up, down, volume. And if it's controlling Bluetooth, we have no ability to control Bluetooth through this. It's another little feature. Like, I don't care if remote's slightly bigger. If you're going to give me a Bluetooth option, as someone who just spent $1,000 on a speaker, I don't want to touch that Bluetooth device. If it's my phone and it's over there charging, and I'm connected with this, I should be able to do next track, last track, play, pause. Which, actually, I wonder if you can if you double press that, but, well, you know what? I have to test that. I'd have to test that. I take it back if that actually works. But in the meantime, I still don't like the remote, the design of it. And since we're maxing out the volume, I don't need the remote anymore. So now, back to sort of like unimpressed Saitama. Okay, I have the volume and I have the treble and bass both set to flat. And these are very flat speakers. In fact, I don't usually do this, but I went to Amazon and I was reading the reviews because there's 14 reviews, which is not none. And the first 3 were 4 stars. Not 5 stars, 4 stars. Impressive, but not worth it for 1,000. I really like them, especially when you integrate with the sub, 4 stars. And then there was a couple people like, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard my entire life. And that's their prerogatory? Prerogatory. Not pierogi. Fuck, now I'm hungry. I want a pierogi. The basic, the line of the in the sand is, these speakers sound fine. You have to turn the bass and treble. Basically, well, the treble you don't have to, that's more of a personal and distance thing. But the bass, if you nail it all the way to the top, these drivers will freak out and dance. If I find a song that actually plays. So those drivers are moving. The problem is, there's no bass coming out. I mean, maybe I'm expecting too much. Maybe the little OS 10s just destroyed my whole soul, which I think they may have. But I feel like $1,000 speaker should be able to produce, it claims 52, I think is a hertz, 52 hertz. And maybe it measures that, but it's just, and this is the same room and the same layout that I'm expecting, all these speakers, it just feels a little anemic, even with the bass knob turned all the way up. So you're gonna need, if you're planning on using these $1,000 speakers as your, like, I want my listening room, it's slightly bigger. I mean, this is not exactly the small space. In fact, that's just a curtain. It's like 40 feet past there. But it's like, it just needs some more. It needs help. That's its helper. It needs mama's little helper over here. Daddy's little helper needs to come in and just...
Well, I don't care. He gives large parties.
He gives large parties, and I like large parties. They're so intimate. Small parties, there isn't any privacy. It's a great quote from a Great Gatsby movie. Can't play AC/DC, but I can on the Sound Demo Oasis, which is available to my patrons. So if you want to find new music and hear me test things with that sort of stuff, please join Patreon. It's not a sound you want to hear in a Z reviews about a product. Like, it's great that I don't have a speaker that it's like, yeah, finally a speaker that I don't absolutely love, but it's got problems. It doesn't get loud enough, and the remote sucks, and it needs a subwoofer. I mean, that's it. It's overpriced. If these were $500 a pair, easily telling you to buy them. Easily. But like I said, that tweeter, what this is, and I've complained about this a couple times, it's like you take a big tower speaker, like, God, these are fucking gorgeous. Like these big old Aperion towers. And if this was a tweeter in it, and this was like the upper mid-range in it, and then you had like the 2 8s or 10s below it to really carry it, it'd be perfect. The problem is they're just the top end of speakers. You're basically, if you're buying the 80s, let's get to the actual, here's the chart. The 80s, the 100s, the 200s, the 300s, and the 300 Pros. And the prices are wildly different. First of all, even the 80s, which have a 4.5, are... Actually, we're on this page. Hold on, page up. Oop. $700. Same remote. Then we have these, which apparently I got them in white, and I think they came with a European plug. You may not be able to get white in America, but I think more than 50% of my audience is European and other. So yeah, you can get it. However, we have the option for red and black. I want to just stop and praise any company for giving me a fucking speaker with color. I'm tired of wood and black and wood and white. I'm a little tired of white. I still think white's way better than just like standard speaker bullshit. But red, I'm kind of upset I didn't get the red set. I didn't know I had that option because red is life. Red is color. Red exists. Please give me speakers that are just different. So anyway, we go back. We have $699, $999. And then you have the bigger ones, which are 5.5. So you're getting a little bit bigger. You can see the whole unit changes shape. Now it has a fascia and the sides. No interesting colors anymore. Same stupid remote. Bigger tweeter. Now you're at $1,200. So you're going to a much bigger speaker, and you're only getting $200 more. And then you go up again to the 300s. Now you got a 6.5 inch at $1,500. And it's just, I think it keeps the same tweeter from the last one, but a bigger driver here and a better remote. So that's the upgrade there, is you get the better remote. And then you have the A300 Pro, which I didn't know existed until I went to it just now. My fucking mouse is screwing me up. I tried to full screen it. By the way, vertical tabs in Firefox is amazing. Look at that, nice list. So then you have these, which are a huge leap from 1,500 to 2,300. And here's the thing, it's the exact same woofer. I don't know if the tweeter changes. It seems like they add in some other features like balanced inputs. I was trying to read based on, wait, where was the chart? The chart was down here. Here. Wait, no, more down. More down. Oh, too far down. I was trying to go over this and like to understand it. So 4.5 is the 80, 5 inches these, 5.5 is the 200, 6.5 and 6.5 are the 300s. And then we got the power goes up. Actually, I'm sorry, the power for the treble across the line is only 10 watts. It's only 10 watt tweeter. That's I mean, you could say 10 watts is all you need, but I feel like the volume limitation I'm finding, where these are maxed out right now to play, just, you know, like, hold on. Evangelion. Hans Zimmer's Dune. Like, I feel like I know this song, and I feel like it should have more bass. Visions of Chani. I feel like there should be, like bass, and I should feel it, and I don't. But the fact that so the pros have 120 watts in the woofers, still only 10 watts in the tweeters, where the non-pros only have 70 watts in the woofers. And it looks like we have like a balanced input here. We have wait, this is a balanced input and an unbalanced. So this adds an unbalanced input. I don't see the benefits of going with the Pro. Like, I don't. It's double the cost. What is the deal? I'm gonna have to do some more research on it. But yeah, no. So it's just I want to do more of this line. I gotta know what these big boys do, because it's only a few $100s more, honestly. If you're like sitting there and going, Zeos, I have between $1,000 and $1,500 to spend on a speaker. If these blew my mind, fucking styrofoam. If these blew my mind, I'll be like, you can get these or the bigger ones. And it would just be a matter of the size of your space, of your room. If you're putting these on a desk, they come with the foam, so you can actually actively put them on the desk. I've heard they're fantastic. Someone has these and put them on their desk, and they're fantastic. I'm putting them on in a room scenario, and they're not really delivering what I'd want for $1,000 in a room, unless you're prepared to get a sub and tune it. Because once I added that sub, it's like, all right, this is fucking complete. I was jamming down here, but it doesn't come with a sub. It doesn't come with a voucher for a sub. So you got to put that in your head as like, all right, I got to get at least like a $250, $300 subwoofer. Granted, this one's $130. You've got to get that and add it on to the cost of this. And then you're still lacking in some of the features of like being able to switch. And then your volume is, no matter what your subwoofer is doing, it's not going to make, oh, it's another thing. With a speaker like this, I would fully expect the Vanuatu style thing where you plug in the subwoofer and it cuts the low end off from the speakers. It doesn't do that. It just, we plug it in and the speakers continue to make bass whether there's a subwoofer there or not. It doesn't actively change. And that's an issue, because usually the whole reason you add a sub is to take the burden off the speakers so you can play them louder. Because if this isn't trying to play, you know, below 80 hertz, it can get a little bit crazier. It doesn't do that. I had it playing a really bassy song. I didn't have the subwoofer on. It was just plugged in. And I plugged it in and nothing changed. And I unplugged it and nothing changed. And I feel like that's something that should be an option, or should be a feature that's built into any $1,000 speaker. So, some of the prettiest speakers, Thank God there's colors. Oh, thank God there's colors. The higher ones obviously can't have any fun, so there's no colors on those. But they're great treble, great imaging. I probably should do the how do they sound, Zeos? Because you're just complaining, and I want to know how they sound. Well, the reason I'm complaining is because it doesn't matter how they sound because you're probably not going to buy them. I would love to have the bigger version of these show up and just complete the speaker. Complete the speaker. Because it's okay to have a speaker that doesn't have all the low end it needs. But I feel like it's not loud enough. It doesn't have the right accessories. And it had a beautiful unboxing experience, by the way. It actually had like they were in like bags, and the bags were like twirled and tied. So you pulled them out like Christmas gifts. Oh, it was wonderful. Iggy and the Stooges. You want to talk about low recording quality? But I have Iggy and the Stooges. I mean, the treble isn't even harsh out of that horn, and I was worried that it was going to be just like a screaming tweeter, and I could turn that treble knob all the way up, just like the bass knob. Actually, with the bass knob flat, with the treble knob flat, we'll just keep turning the volume knob and hope to get more out of it. And it's just going to be... It's got great depth. It's got great depth. But I want a complete speaker when I'm listening to $1,000 pair of speakers. I could push my wants and needs aside for a $300 speaker. Like, all right, it's only $300 or it's only $200. At $500 and up, if you're not selling me like a satellite speaker specifically, I want it to do bass and imaging and volume. I want it all. These don't do it all. They try real fucking hard, but I feel like they're holding back simply because the 200s, the 300s, and the 300 Pros exist. If this was the only speaker that Airpulse made, they would have thrown all their fucking Jimmy Jams in it. And if all the Jimmy Jams are in it, I'd probably fall in love with it because it has potential. They just didn't tune it for that. So yeah, I'm done. And that wallpaper's in the Horde. That's actually good right there. It's just like a boom. It's just enough. It's very polite. It's a polite sound. It's not a rock and roll sound. It's just politely like boom. That tweeter sounds exactly like it looks. It's clear, it's crystalline, it's got beautiful imaging, but I don't want to buy a tweeter. I want to buy a speaker. I don't want to buy a tweeter with like just a little, not even a mid bass. It's mid range. It's tweeter and mid range, and then you gotta go and plug this fucker here. We'll do this while this song is playing. Can I do that? Hold on, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, it would have ducked out to control the frequencies, and it just didn't. But now it's like, now we're there. Now we've got room-filling sound. I felt like I was assessing these speakers more than enjoying them for the entire time I was listening to them. So now I got to get to these other swans, and then I have a bunch more speakers coming to me. I contacted Fluid Audio. No, wait, not Fluid. Oh my God, Cali Audio. I contacted Cali Audio because they've got the like 2.1 for a desk, and they've also got the new 5s, the new 8 series, which I reviewed the 8s like 2 years ago when I bought this house, and I love those. Those things had all the bass. You know, these are beautiful, and I'd love to just sit here and chill the shit out of them for you, but they're just eh. So anyway, Patreon, subscribe, star, support this channel. They allow me to make these honest reviews like this. If you want to hear sound demos, you got to join that. You want to see reviews like this early, up to a week or two. Like if there's a run on a product, OS 10. Those people are the ones who get it first. And if you want to, sound demos? I did it out of order because I'm trying to push the fact that the sound demos are now on the private Telegram channel, which you can access for $5 a month. See reviews early. Participate in yard sales. I got to make the yard sale video tonight. Yeah, if Airpulse is like, here, just hold on to these, they're yard sale material. They're yard sale material. They're beautiful. They're worth $400 or $500 easy in what they're currently doing. Any more than that, and you better include the subwoofer. So yard sales, see reviews early, and hear losses, sound demos, and see them too, with whatever songs I want to play. For $10 a month, you get all those things and into a private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat where you get to ask me questions directly. You cannot message me really on any of the platforms unless you're in that tier because you get into a private Telegram chat. Then it's on my phone and it's easy. Once it's not on my phone, I have to log into logging into Patreon for messages is a nightmare, and Subscribestar is even worse. It's like a alpha. But yeah, there's that. And once you're in that $10 chat, even if you decide not to stay in the $10 chat, you're in a lifetime swap meet channel where you can buy, sell, and trade gear. So check those out. Check out Hi-Fi Guides, the forums, and the Wallpaper Horde, and merch at zboombox.com. And check out the sponsor link. Oh my God, I almost forgot to say the sponsor link. There's a sponsor link in the description. It's universal. It comes and goes. It could be anything. Depending on how great or poorly my life has gone in the next few years, that link might change to something terrible, like Jim's Refuse. Buy Yet Refuse from Jim, and he's paying me $50 to put his link there. Who knows? I'm gonna listen to a couple more songs in this, and then I'm just gonna take him off, and then I'll do the sound demos with him in another day because I gotta catch up. So did you go to the sound demo thing and they're not there yet? They're coming. Doesn't sound bad. It's just not great. It's not great.